Hey, it's Tony, and I need to talk to you about something that literally stopped me mid-scroll this week because a report just dropped, and I'm going to show it to you on screen right now so you can read it for yourself. And when I saw what it was saying, I had to sit down for a second because this isn't some far-off, hypothetical, maybe someday conversation anymore. We're talking about guaranteed income. And we are talking about a timeline that just got moved up dramatically in a way that almost nobody saw coming. If you work on a computer, if you have a white-collar job, if you know someone who does, or honestly, if you're already struggling and you've been wondering when things are going to shift, this video is for you. Stay with me because this is one of those videos where you're going to want to grab a pen. Before I dive in, let me be upfront with you the way I always try to be. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a politician, I'm just someone who has spent years digging through government programs, benefits databases, policy reports, and now economic forecasts so that people like us, people who don't have a team of lawyers or accountants, can actually understand what's happening and what it means for our lives. This channel exists because I know what it feels like to look at your bank account and feel that sick drop in your stomach. I know what it's like to choose between groceries and a bill. So when something this big hits the wire, I bring it to you as fast as I can. And today, this absolutely qualifies. All right, I'm going to pop this article up on screen right now so you can see exactly what we're looking at. And I want you to really read this because this is nuts. The Microsoft AI chief has come out and said that within the next 12 to 18 months, most white-collar jobs are going to be obsolete, replaced by AI. Not in 2030, not in 10 years, 12 to 18 months. And alongside that, economists are projecting unemployment spikes of 20% or greater. Let that sink in for a second, because just a few years ago, back in 2023, which really wasn't that long ago, ChatGPT was brand new. That was the first AI chatbot most of us had ever interacted with. 3 years later, we're staring down projections of 20% unemployment. That is how fast this is moving. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, Nicole, I'm not a white-collar worker. I'm a retiree. I'm already on disability. I work with my hands. Why does this affect me? Here's why, and this is really important. When massive industries get taken over by AI, when the people who used to sit at desks doing accounting, legal work, data entry, writing, customer service, all of it, when those jobs disappear, the ripple effect hits everything. We're talking about potentially 300 million positions globally being disrupted or eliminated. I've seen multiple reports pointing to that number, and while not all of those are U.S. jobs, a massive chunk of them are. And here's the reality of how our government responds to unemployment. Right now, when the unemployment rate creeps up to even 6 or 7%, lawmakers are in full panic mode. They're scrambling, they're printing money, they're passing emergency relief bills. We all lived through that in 2020. Now, imagine unemployment hitting 20%. The government response to that would be unlike anything we have ever seen. And that is exactly where guaranteed income enters the picture, not as a political talking point, but as a practical emergency response. Whether you like him or you don't, and that is totally beside the point of this video, Elon Musk has been talking about this for years. I've covered it on this channel before. He has said repeatedly, very clearly, that work will be optional, that as robots and AI take over essentially everything, humans simply won't need to work anymore. We'll be free to pursue whatever we're passionate about, whatever brings us joy, and in order to make that work, there would need to be a guaranteed high income deposited into people's accounts every single month. Now, what does high income mean? Obviously, Elon Musk's definition of high income and mine are probably very different. The man is on the verge of being the world's first trillionaire. But reports that have tried to put a number on this have suggested somewhere in the range of $75,000 per year. Now, I know some of you were hearing that and thinking that sounds almost impossible to imagine, but when you consider that the alternative is 20% unemployment with no safety net, suddenly the math starts to make sense for why governments would move in this direction. Let me talk about the people this is going to hit hardest first, because I want to be real with you. Anyone who works on a computer, and I mean anyone, is at risk right now. We're talking about office workers, administrative assistants, paralegals, accountants, writers, coders, customer service reps, data analysts. If your job happens primarily on a screen, the Microsoft projection puts you in the crosshairs of the next 12 to 18 months. But beyond that immediate wave, think about all the jobs that orbit around those industries. The lunch spots near office buildings, the dry cleaners, the child care centers that serve those workers. The ripple is enormous. And for those of you who are already in vulnerable positions, single moms, veterans, people with disabilities, seniors on fixed incomes, formerly incarcerated individuals trying to rebuild, what this means for you is that the conversation around guaranteed income just got a whole lot more serious and a whole lot more urgent, because the political will to act only comes when the numbers get scary enough. And 20% unemployment? Those are scary numbers. Here's what's different right now compared to even a year ago. The people making these predictions aren't fringe voices anymore. This is coming from the Microsoft AI chief. This is coming from major economic research institutions. And the companies pouring money into AI, we're talking Amazon, Meta, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, Microsoft, they are spending hundreds of billions of dollars per year building this out. Companies don't spend hundreds of billions of dollars on something they don't believe in. And think about it from a pure business perspective. If a large corporation can look at their payroll and say, we could cut 15 or 20% of our workforce just by implementing AI and save billions of dollars a year, do you think they're going to hesitate? They are not a charity. They're going to do it, and they're already doing it. The old estimate was that massive AI adoption was a 2030 problem. That timeline has collapsed. We are talking about the next year to year and a half. That is not a lot of runway. Okay, I don't want to leave you sitting in a cloud of anxiety because that is never the goal here. So let me give you the good news and the action steps. The good news is this: the political and economic pressure building around guaranteed income is now stronger than it has ever been. Guaranteed income pilots are already running in over 150 cities and counties across the United States. The data from those programs is strong. People who receive direct cash payments are finding employment faster, reporting less anxiety and depression, and feeding their families more consistently. The groundwork is being laid right now. And here's what you can do today. First, search your city or county name plus Guaranteed Income Pilot and find out if there's an active program near you. These programs are expanding, and many accept applications on a rolling basis. Second, and this one is really important, if you have kids, make sure you are filing your taxes even if your income is below the filing threshold. Child tax credit expansions and similar programs use your tax filing to determine eligibility. Don't leave that money on the table. Third, sign up for your city council or county newsletter. That's where program announcements go out first. Being on that list could mean being in the first wave of applicants when something new launches in your area. And fourth, share this video. Seriously, there are people in your life who need to see this. Your mom, your neighbor, your coworker who's been quietly terrified about their job security. Sharing this costs you nothing and could genuinely help someone. Look, I won't pretend we know exactly how this all plays out. Only time will tell how quickly AI disruption hits and how fast our government responds. It may land somewhere in between the most optimistic and most terrifying projections. But what I do know is this: the conversation has shifted, the timeline has moved, and the people who are paying attention right now are going to be in the best position to act when these programs expand. You deserve to know everything that's available to you. That is what this channel is for. So if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that big subscribe button right now. I post new information on benefits, government programs, and financial resources multiple times a week, and you do not want to miss what's coming. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Honestly, what do you think about all of this? Are you worried? Are you hopeful? I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep going right now, check out the video linked right here. It covers emergency cash programs you can apply for this week. No fluff, just facts. You've got this, and I've got you. I'll see you in the next one.